For us diehard Suns fans, the Q Clash is the biggest match on the calendar. And the Gold Coast are going to surprise a few people this week. Look, before I go into it, don't forget, enjoying our tips, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to engage with us over the weekend and let us know what you think is going to happen in this game and all the games for that matter. Now, yes, full disclosure, if you missed it at the start, I'm a diehard Gold Coast fan, and I'm backing my boys to turn things around after their worst performance of the season. Look, I'm going to put that loss, the 61-point loss, into perspective for everybody. The Suns have never won at Adelaide Oval. Never. In their history. Never, ever, ever won at Adelaide Oval. So I'm just going to put it down to that. I think what people are forgetting is that we held Collingwood to 0 goals for a whole half of football just the week before at People First Stadium. So we're going to need another performance like that, and I think it's very possible. Yes, the Suns have a few outs, a huge out with Dan Rioli now going to be missing for 6 weeks, and Tuke Miller obviously out. But we still have the goods to be able to put in a good performance and maybe even pinch this game from Brisbane. Look, the line here is set at 8.5 and in favour of Brisbane, of course. Now, when it comes to away home underdogs this season, it's at about 50% the win rate, or the cover rate. So I like the Suns to cover with the 8.5-point start, and they may even pinch this match. Look, they need a rebound performance. And if they are what they say they are this year and are a different team to what they've been the last 13 years when they haven't made the finals, they're going to need a massive performance this week. You could almost put their whole season down to it. So this is a mini grand final for the Suns, and they're going to step up and put in a huge performance and hopefully win and go a long way to sealing their spot in their first finals in the AFL. When it comes to player props in this game, look, I'm looking heavily at John Noble. Obviously, with Dan Rioli out, Noble's going to have to step up to another level if he hasn't already hit his peak, because he's been phenomenal for the Suns this year. Look, Rioli leaves a big hole and a lot of work behind him in the half-back line, and John Noble's going to have to pick up just a little bit of that slack. He had a pretty quiet game, which is 20 disposals against Collingwood, but the previous 3 matches he'd had up around the 30 disposal mark. So getting pretty good odds for him at 25 plus in this one. So I'm jumping on that. When it comes to goal scorers, look, I don't know. I'm going to back Brisbane's goal scorers here. I'm going to back Logan Morris. The young 20-year-old has been phenomenal. He's stepped into Danaher's shoes and he's leading the goal-kicking race in Brisbane. Look, he's a little bit up and down in how many goals he is kicking and hard to find any really solid trends. But I do think his energy is going to trouble the back line of the Suns, and he'll be the difference maker for Brisbane. And we'll see him kick a couple of goals, also at pretty good odds considering he is Brisbane's leading goal kicker. So, gonna back my Suns to cover as 8.5-point home underdogs, maybe even pinch a win. And then you've got John Noble, 25 plus disposals, and Logan Morris, 2 plus goals. Just remember this Saturday, gamble responsibly and happy punting.